How's it going, everyone? We're gonna continue on with the Playfield in this part, and hopefully we can get this knocked out and ready to be put back together in this one. Shouldn't be any problem. We don't have any touch-up to do on it. We just have a lot of well, I cleaned it in the last part, tore it all down, cleaned it, took it, everything off the Playfield except for the switches. I didn't feel like messing with them, or the kickers. But we had mildew on it, and I wasn't a big fan of the way it turned out the last time I did it. If you're not familiar, this is the one that's been sitting in the garage up where my counter is now. It's sitting right over there for, I don't know, almost a year. So it's time. We have a lot of work to do on this machine. The board set took a dump on me. It's not working properly. In fact, it blacked out in the last video on me. That's why it got parked in the first place, because it kind of torqued me off, so I put it away for a while. Well, it's been a while, and then just kept doing other things, and this became a counter, and now it's time to get it back out and get it up and running. We had some lights out when the board set did boot. It did. We had some lights out, strobes out. We had quite a bit of things that we had to do. The back glass is sitting over there. It started peeling again. So we're going to have to do some touch up on the back glass and work and get it clear coated and coated good this time. That was one of the things on my agenda to do when I parked it, was to clear coat the back of the back glass after I was done, and I didn't. I just put it in, and we were working through a few things, and then it blacked out on me, and then it never did boot again until I brought it back out and put it out here, and then it started booting again. Well, then after it stayed on for a little while, it just went out. The only thing that was left on was the GI. And I'm not positive. I've always said that you can't use LEDs in the early Williams systems, 3 through 7, I think, or 6. This is a system 6, without updating the driver board. But then I got to reading, and I read that it was okay to do LEDs on the System 6. But in the last video I asked if anybody else has any more information. I'm all ears. I'll be willing to listen. But in this video we are going to attack the Playfield with steel wool, with a 4/0 steel wool, get it smoothed out some more, and then we're going to put probably 2 more coats of clear on this. I'll steel wool it, and then we'll get it wiped down, we'll clear coat it, and then I'll let it set up, and then we'll steel wool it again and clear coat it again, and then steel wool it again, and then we will polish it out and see how it comes out. Hopefully it'll come out a lot better. You know, it does have a little bit of a sheen on it. There's 1 coat of clear on this. Like I said, I must have been in a hurry. It's been so long since this has been sitting here. But like I said, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not like it should be. It should be polished out and looking really, really handsome. So I'm going to get you set up. We're going to attack it with some steel wool and get her smoothed out so we can get her ready for another coat of clear. Alright, now steel wool like I said, I always use 4-aught to smooth out my clear coat. The only bad thing about using steel wool is cleanup. After you're done, you have a lot of steel wool dust. A lot of little metal fibers that you have to get cleaned up. You know, which it's not bad. You just get after it with the vacuum and the inside of the cabinet, because a lot of this stuff falls down inside the box, and you have to get her cleaned up. Usually you have to vacuum off the whole underside of the Playfield too. But this is the best I have found when doing these. You know, some people will use sandpaper. You know, you can use like 1500 grit. You're still getting a lot of dust from sandpaper. But it's whatever you want to use. You know, by all means, I'm no expert. I just do them the way I want to do them. The way I've done this type of stuff for years is always using steel wool. Clear coat's a little tougher to, yep, see there? That's all the way through to the paint there, because I didn't have enough clear coat on it the first time. I was in a hurry when I did this one. And we're in no hurry this time. That was one of the reasons why I could put it away, is because I had so much other stuff I wanted to do. I still do, but I really want to get this knocked out and looking good. Not doing any good sitting in here. Needs to be over at the arcade, being enjoyed and making some money. I have people telling me that, you know, I'd make more money if I was to just fix them up and sell them, instead of quartering everybody to death on them. But when I do these, Especially when I really have to get into them. You know, I get kind of attached to them. And when you get attached to them, you don't want to sell them. I don't mind other people playing them, but I don't want anybody else owning it. It's mine. You can fix them and sell them if you want. That's not what I'm about. Now, if I was to do one for somebody, yeah. By all means, you do what you want with it. It's not mine. Yeah, that clear coat really set up good. Taking quite a bit to cut it, which is good because then that means that it is also good for playing. You're not going to wear through it. I was surprised how good this Playfield was, how good the condition the Playfield was when I got it. We didn't have a whole lot that we had to do. I think one of the reasons is because of the drop targets in these. Drop targets seem to be the weak spot in these Williams, to me anyway. I mean, I don't mind working on them, but if you can't get parts for them, what are you going to do? You can get the new upgraded contact plates, which I have a set for this. So we may be looking at a couple of different things to do when we start working on the drop targets. We have a bad one right here. That bank right there. If you haven't watched, let's see, the spacer. It's kind of a spacer that holds the contacts in place is broke. And I have looked and I have not found Oops, not going to get through there. I have not found replacements. I know somebody's got to be doing them. An awful lot of these William games out there, and I'm sure this isn't the only one that has bad drop targets. We'll get into it though. Thought about once we get that far along, we'll get to drop target that piece out. And see if there's any way possible, right down to the paint, possible of printing out on the 3D printer new parts. I think it would be good if we could. I was always a Williams fan. I think they have had a lot of good machines. Not too bad. Wish I would have cleaned the playfield just a little bit better. Now I can scoop down through there and see if I see any shiny spots. Looks pretty good. I love the design. The designs on this playfield. Alright. Now I'll get her cleaned up and she'll be ready for some clear. I plugged all my light sockets with, I just cut up paper towel. Let's put that over there. Cut up paper towels and rolled them up and put them and stuff them down in the sockets so I don't get a whole bunch of clear coat on in them. I use this Minute wax or Minute whatever. What is it? Yeah, Minwax. Poly stuff. I use it because it's, for starters, it's a water base, so it's really easy to clean up. No solvents. Dries quick. It doesn't stink much. Oh, forgot to cover the top of my drop targets. So I just have to be careful around them. And I've used the hair brushes. I mean, I bought a really nice, expensive paintbrush for clear coating. And I've used these little foamies. And actually, I didn't see much difference using the expensive brush compared to the foam brush. Get out of there. Too much down in the hole. Gotta watch how much stuff you put in your hole. Slow down. I'm getting in too big of a hurry. I don't like using rattle can clear. I mean, if that's what you like to use. I just don't care for it. I'll use it on the cabinets on the outside because it just works so much better spraying it on the cabinet. But on Playfield, I like to brush it, or in this case, foam it. I can just control it better. Doing it this way. I've had really good results with this, and this is probably, no, I've got some older ones with it on it, but I have a bunch of them over at the arcade with this clear coat on them, and I haven't noticed any yellowing. But I made the mistake one machine I did, I think it was Knight Rider, that after I clear coated it with this, I tried wet sanding it. Yeah, I got the bright idea. Steel wool is good, wet sanding's got to be better. Well, probably is, except when you're doing a water base clear coat. Needless to say, it lifted. I had a heck of a mess to clean up. Got it though, and it turned out good. Whole idea about clear coating is putting a hard shell on over your paint. So your paint, what paint you have, will stay in good shape. See any dry spots? Looks pretty good. Ew. Big snot there. Clean up that. Right here. Right in front of this. Those drop targets. That one I got. Alright. Boy, that just looks ducky. Alright, okay, now I'm gonna let that dry and we'll do it all over again after we steel wool it. Like I said, it doesn't take long if you don't have to touch up. Okay, first coat on and cured. You can see we get a lot better sheen with the second coat. Like I said, there was only one on it. I was in kind of a hurry, I think, the first time I did this. But it definitely a big improvement. Now we're gonna steel wool it all back down, steel wool it again, kind of level it out, and put a second coat on it just to make sure we have a nice thick hard shell on this paint. so we don't lose it any more than what we did before. So I'm going to change your battery, and then I'm going to start steel wooling. Now the reason for steel wooling in between coats is you have to have something for the next coat to get a hold of. And if you steel wool it, again, 4/0, if you scuff it up like this, it gives the next coat something to get a hold of instead of just trying to hold on to another shiny surface. It's kind of the, the idea behind it and why you do it. Plus, you're gonna, when you steel wool it again, this time you'll take out all those little imperfections from clear coating. All the little, you might have some a little bit of bubbles here and there, or some uneven areas where you kind of overlapped when you clear coated. It's kind of when you spray it, you get more of an even coat. Yeah, I know. But spraying is such nasty stuff. And I don't have the right area to do it. A lot more cleanup with spraying. And I guess if you're going with, you're trying to make a showpiece out of it, you would spray it. Because then once with the spray, that's a solvent base, clear. You can wet sand in between coats and really get a nice smooth finish out of it. What I'm using, that Minwax, is kind of, it's a good clear coat, and it's something that you can do with minimal stink with all the overspray. Have to worry about overspray with spraying it. Here you don't. And it works good. I've had really good luck and really good results with using the water base clear coat. A lot of products out there to do this. You even have solvent base brush on that you can use. And it just, I don't know, I would rather use salt or water base for such easy cleanup. I don't know how this, oh, it's damp out here in the garage, and it didn't get stupid on me, you know, get kind of a white haze. It's like furniture when you clear coat and then you put a coffee cup on it and you get a white ring. That's what happened to me when I tried wet sand in this. All it did was kind of leave, you know, it was okay at first, it was looking really good. And then the longer the water stayed on from wet sand, and it started turning white on me. And that was Night Rider. I think I've mentioned that. Live and learn. Learn what you can and can't do. Now, what's nice, at least I'm telling you, so you don't try it yourself and have a big mess to clean up. Wasn't too bad though. All I did was dry it off real good again, and steel wooled it all back off. Got it all smoothed back out, and then clear coated it again. And learned, do not wet sand. Gets beat up quite a bit right around the drop targets. Still have quite a bit of cleanup that you have to do after doing like 2 or 3 coats. Underneath, you'll have a lot of steel wool dust and a lot of clear coat dust that you have to clean up. You know, if you don't mind the cleanup, then you can go ahead and do it this way. If you have a problem with getting this stuff on your parts underneath, you can plug every hole and make sure none of this stuff gets down in there. You know, you can take all your switch blades out, all your switches out, your lane switches. tape them, fill them, whatever. So you keep all this stuff on the top. Or you don't worry about it and just do a little extra cleanup when you're done. I just use a little shop vac with the brush attachment on it. And go over it. Now nobody will see under the plastics, but it's got to be scuffed up under there in order for your next coat to stick really good. You don't want to have it peeling under your plastics. Quite a bit of work, but if you don't mind the work, then it's well worth it. Especially, you know, if it's one of your machines. Now, if you're just, you know, fixing to sell it, It depends on, I guess, really what you're looking for to sell. You know, if you have a nice common machine in good condition already, then I would say just, and you know, like I said, it depends on what you're looking for. If you want to go through all this just for a machine that you're going to sell, or you can just tear it down and, you know, clean it up real good with magic eraser and alcohol if need be, or if not, you can use just Windex. I have found that works pretty good on play fields that are just, you know, just have some dirt. But when you got a lot of ball swirls and ball tracks, you're going to need to really get after it to get a lot of that out to make it really look good. And then you can just do it that way, just wax it up real good and put it on for sale. You know, if you're just out there to make some money. Mine are all presented in the arcade and being enjoyed, so I make sure because none of mine are going to be going anywhere except to the arcade. I don't sell any of my machines. And if, you know, if somebody asked me to do this, to restore one of theirs, like I do, then I'd give them the option. When you're steel wooling, it's hard to see all the shiny spots that you've missed. So you got to kind of walk around all around it and keep looking at it, and you'll find all the little shiny spots, you know, where you've missed along drop targets, or you around some switches. One good thing too about clear coating is that Mylar gets glued down better. You get a coating on it and it has a rougher time peeling. Alright, there's second coat, all steel wooled. Looking pretty good. Alright, I will vacuum this all up and get it all cleaned up and bring you back when I'm putting on the second coat of clear. Okay, this is just a whole lot of the same as the first time. Only I will take my time a little bit more with this one. But since this is our last, and we'll get a really good coat on it, and that way we have a really nice thick shell to protect it, protect our playfield. Now, I found with these foam brushes, is if you go light, you don't get as many air bubbles, little bubbles in your coat. I did that again. Because when you press down, you're kind of squishing, squeezing out the clear coat, and it has a tendency to put bubbles. Let me move that off to the side a little bit so you can. This is the money coat, so take your time. Make sure you get everything. All the switches, all the stand-ups, drop targets, under the plastics. It'll help with lighting too, the clear coat under the plastics, because it gives it a shiny coat to reflect off of. And I'm still not sure if we're going to put all the LEDs back in this, or if we're going to go with incandescent, because I haven't posted the first one yet, so I haven't heard any comments. As to what everybody else thinks about putting LEDs in a Williams System 6. Like I said, I've heard a lot of people say you can't because of the driver board, and then I did some research, and I found that some people say you can. So who knows? Somebody out there does. You can tell when you get too much on when it's white. Like right there in front of the drop target. This smooths out as it cures, but you don't want too much of a glob in any given spot, or it'll show up, and then you have a lot of steel wooling to do to get it cleaned up and smoothed out. So this is another one of those where more isn't better. More coats are fine, but make your coat uniform. Okay, now peek across it and kind of nod my head back and forth and look to see if I see any dry spots where I missed. And it all looks good. So now it's another one of hurry up and wait, and then we can steel wool it down one more time and polish it out, so to speak. Looking good. I saved you the agony of the boring of me steel wooling it down again. So now we have 2 coats of clear on here, and steel wooled twice in between each coat, just once in between each coat. And now it is time to see what we can do about polishing it up and getting it looking really good. Let me play around here so I can get you a good we'll do the center here, right around the flippers. I'm using Meguiar's mirror glaze. This is the 205. This is a kind of a light cut. All we're doing is glazing those little scratches from the steel wool, and you think it was tiring steel woolen. Wait till you hand rub this for about a half an hour. I've used my drill, my cordless, on, I think that was Star Trek I did it on, and you know, it works. And I want to do it by hand down in here, and we'll see how it looks, and then I'll get the, probably get my drill and see what we can do about buffing it. Okay. Alright, better get a little reflection. You can see it comes out really nice. We still got to wax it too. But you can see before and after. Now let's get the drill and I'll put the buffing wheel on it and we'll see how that works. Okay, now I'll just go up a little bit further and we'll use the drill with a little buffer on it. And we'll see how that works. To me, it's about the same, only not quite as tiring. That was hand, and that's with the buffer on the drill. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'll finish. Let me back you up a hair. There we go. I'll go ahead and finish. Let's go from like the drop targets across down. I'll do all of this and bring you back and show you how it's turning out as far as this lower half goes. There's some of this I will have to get by hand up along some of these, the kickers and stuff like that, and along the edges you just can't get in with that. So let me get busy. I'll get this all cleaned up and I'll show you what that bottom half looks like when it's done. Alright, that's from the drop targets down. It's all buffed out, except for, around some of the switches and the kickers I have to do by hand. These switches I have to because I keep getting hung up on them. But so far it's coming out good. I think that the drill is, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier on the shoulders. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this finished up. And remember, we still have to wax this too, so it should come out even a little bit better after we wax it up too. So let me get finished up above here. I'll get the whole playfield all buffed out, and I'll take my time and get around some of this stuff where I can't get with the buffer. Now all buffed out, and now it's time to get it all cleaned up with a little wax. Wax is also a cleaner. I'm sure everybody knows that. Get it all waxed up. A little much. Alright, that's it. 2 coats of clear, and buffed and waxed. It's kind of hard to see if I can get a little more of the reflection. And why are you... There, that's better. Camera threw a fit. But that's gonna be it. Total, about 2 days to do it. Could have had it done probably in 1 day, because this clear coat does dry a lot quicker than anything else. So about 1 day you can have it done. You know, I got started late yesterday, and I was I got started late, and I finished it up today. So probably about a day, day and a half, and you can have it done. It turned out really nice, a lot better than what it was, than what I had it. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. And I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And if you did enjoy it, hit the like button. And I hope to see you on the next one, where I'm not sure what we're going to be doing on this yet next. Alright, till next time. See ya.